Hog-Eye Music to drop off the Heartland Journal, and I know you founded Hog-Eye Music. And
were you one of the founders?
Then I read your biography.
There were four of us. It was Joan and Tyler Wilson, which is why I'm in town, because Joan passed away in December. We're doing a memorial concert up at the Chicago Institute of Music. And then Jan Berta and myself. The four of us founded it when I moved into Chicago.
And here it is,
and
still going.
we lived in Farwell, and then we lived on Morse, and so we lived in the Rogers Park neighborhood. So of course I was here.
It's a homecoming.
You gotta eat here.
And now Bethlehem, Pennsylvania has you.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got two Pennsylvanians.
Fell in love with a guy
today.
Fell in love with a guy that does Sing Out Magazine, which has been around for a long time.
That was one of the things we distributed.
Yeah,
we did. But we need to got to make sure we get Sing Out back on the shelves here. I see it sometimes.
It's still going strong. It's got a web presence, and continues to be active and digging out great cultural music from around the world, but in the United States, political songs that you won't see printed anywhere else.
On this show, for the we had a lot of coverage of various folks honoring the 100th birthday of Woody Guthrie in the last year.
Sure. It's a big year for Woody.
It was a big year for Woody, that's right.
Let's hope we have big years after we're gone.
Yeah,
really.
We had an event that when Tom Dundee passed away, we had an event here.
Yes.
I think we've had a couple of those.
I wanted to make that one, didn't make it.
Well, we're talking about doing something this year, but we may have to wait till next year.
His birthday.
It's up to Dave Laser. Dave, you listening?
Yeah.
What are we going to do? I was, I probably heard you sing a bunch of times in the old days, and then this morning, when I was prepping for my interview this morning, I listened to Follow the Road.
Follow That Road.
And it was a beautiful tune, and I read the biography and all the people you've worked with, and the kind of album I think you did around Phil Oakes, So I was more impressed with you than ever.
Oh, well, thank you.
This morning.
Yeah.
So
that collaborative work, that community, which is what you guys have done here, that's what it's about. It's about building community so that when we're in troubled political times, as we are, we can all have be together and raise our voices, right? That's what it's about.
Let's get Ann's voice raised, because that's so thrilling.
Well, because I've continued to be political as you have. I figured that I would do a song about fracking. I don't know how much you're talking about fracking on.
For your voice, and this would be for the guitar, I guess.
Do you want to sit there, or do you want to sit down there near the mic?
Bring it up.
She'll bring it up.
Far out. Yeah, fracking. We've covered a little bit of fracking.
We're going to wait for Lisa to turn the mic on, and we want to thank Lisa Smith for coming on, and she helps out whenever we need her.
Honest to God,
she got us Lynn Pin today, and
the most crowded shows are the ones that have no guests on Wednesday.
And then we pack them in.
Then we pack them in. We all go, yeah.
So a local, where I live in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, the Lehigh Valley Quakers are very active in trying to get really reasonable regulations in place in Pennsylvania for fracking, which is going on at an accelerated rate because of our Republican governor with very little regulation.
Right.
And so they asked me to write a song. So I figured I'd do something that was along the lines of, because we do need the jobs, we do need the energy, right? So I tried to balance what they say we're going to get with what we get. So this is it. What good is a job with no safe place to settle? What good is a big paycheck without clean water to drink? Chevron tells us that fracking's safe and we need the fuel. So won't you kindly explain why the fuel's in my sink? What good is a well if it's radioactive? What good is a family farm where earthquakes abound? Exxon tells us that fracking's safe and we shouldn't worry. So won't you kindly explain why it's shaking the ground? 'cause they promise a lot, but deliver pollution, while our government gives tax breaks, guarantees absolution. And they fed us a lie about getting rich quick. Now our water's on fire and our families are sick. So what good is a law if it doesn't protect us? What good is an EPA without a thing it can do? Mobile tells us that fracking's safe for people and cattle. So won't you kindly explain why it is we can't sue? 'Cause they promise a lot, but deliver pollution, while our government gives tax breaks, guarantees absolution. And they fed us a lie about getting rich quick. Now our water's on fire and our families are sick. So what good is a job with no safe place to settle? What good is a big paycheck? You know I'm asking you. Chevron tells us that fracking's safe and we need the fuel. Well, if you think it's so safe, come and live where I do, where your main street is wrecked by your trucks rolling through. Hey, you don't just frack shale, you frack communities too. Woo.
Yeah. Woo. Very nice, very nice.
Thank you.
Wow, excellent.
Well, when I was reading about you this morning, you were born in India.
Yeah, my parents were educational missionaries. That was back when the Methodist Church was very politically active. Mom involved in the civil rights movements in the 40s, and she had always been interested in the missions educational work. So they went over and they taught kids in India, and my sister Susan and I were both born over there.
How long did you
So it
live
really
there?
influenced in some ways, and only till I was about 2. My sister went back and went to school, but when my parents came back, they would educate people. My mom was an excellent Indian cook, and my dad decided to become a doctor after he went there, and was planning on and did go back and work in some of the clinics after he got his degree. His medical license.
Wow.
So we would talk, and my dad had gone over to write a master's thesis on the impact of industrialization on the rural culture of India, because he thought that industrialization would break down a lot of the cultural norms that kept the castes apart, the caste system. But no, that's what he
brought
discovered.
the Indian people Cargill.
So
Yeah.
you
Monsanto.
You said that
right.
in the early...
Well, they're suing Monsanto now, and I'm thrilled about that.
God love them.
Back in the day, the Methodist Church was more politically active. I just think about when I was a kid going to church, they used to have these little envelopes that had 2 parts, that you would give money to domestic and give money to something that would go abroad.
But we were always...
So I always put my money in the abroad.
Right, but we were always doing local stuff too. We had a migrant center in Berrien County, Michigan, and I would go out, because that's where I grew up, over in Michigan, just across the lake. And we'd go out, and at that time, the farmers didn't have to have even outhouses in the fields, any place for the workers to go to the bathroom, and the little kids. There was no daycare or anything, so we had there was a migrant center. We'd get them, shots and clean clothes, and so some of my early songs also, when I first moved to Chicago, I was still remembering that, and a number of my earliest songs were also about working with the migrant workers, because they were so astounding how they got their kids educated and through the system, and
regardless.
Yeah. So,
and tell us a little bit about your current career. I mean, where are you playing? Do you get out very often? Who do you play with? You've got a lot of records out.
I work a lot, with Michael Smith here in Chicago.
Great talent,
I
Michael
also
Smith.
work with Tom Paxton, working on various things. Work with David Roth, who is more of I'd sort of a spiritual warrior, works a lot with the Unity Church and people who are very spiritual but not particularly religious. I mean, and very humanistic, secular humanist ideals. And then I work by myself. I do some theater, working with people. I worked with Paul Amandus doing a show he wrote about Ted Kooser that I did some acting and singing. Always sort of everything. But meanwhile, when my daughter was little, went back and got my master's degree in social work. So now I'm a licensed clinical social worker and work with kids at schools, people who have all different issues. And the Economic Times, as a counselor, I'll tell you, the way they've impacted everybody on an emotional level has been pretty phenomenal.
Pretty deep.
Pretty deep.
Yeah, it's a malaise country nationwide.
And that 1%, the 99%, that the pharmaceutical industry, how that's impacted the mental health industry. It's really interesting work, and I was really glad I went and got my degree so I could do that too.
That's a good degree to get.
Because it informs my writing, makes my writing deeper.
Of course.
And
you certainly do. You got a lot of energy, and I'm just wondering, what are your inspirations?
You guys have a lot of energy. You know what that's like, right?
Yeah, it takes one to know
Tell us
one.
about your inspirations. What keeps you going every day?
Yeah, well, it's hard, as you guys know, in this political environment, it's hard. It's easy to get discouraged by what we're up against. But what gets me going actually is the counseling kind of helps, because there's this immediate singular connection with the person that I'm listening to and working with. And also the audience is coming up and saying, like that Fracking song, I don't usually write, I do write political songs, but I'm not as good as Tom Paxton, and that's really hard when you're trying to write as well as somebody who's a great
that's
writer.
A really good song that you just sang.
And so I was really careful, and I had an assignment, and the Quakers wanted it, so I had a reason to research, watch a lot of stuff. So it inspires me to see the young people. It inspires me to see Occupy Wall Street. It inspires me to see political music coming back into the acoustic music scene. It's not about becoming pop stars, but more about...
Yeah, we do want to have another song, right, Michael?
We are going to have another song. We're going to get another one.
Yeah, you can choose it.
Yeah, pick a song, and
What do you want to hear?
Well, something that you like.
You mentioned Phil Oakes. You got a Phil Oakes tune, or you?
Boy, I don't.
I'm sorry.
Okay. I'll do a new one.
Yeah, all right.
I'll do a new one. This is one.
And you want to cozy up there. That's it.
Okay. This is sort of more, I guess, spiritual. I don't know. I lost my father a year ago in December to...
Bless him in his transition.
Bless him, yeah. And it was a tough end because of dementia. And so this is the first song I could write after he went through that struggle.
I'll probably start crying.
Nighttime falls on everyone. Crows race toward the setting sun. Couriers of evening, black against the fading blue. The sky grows dark, the stars grow brighter. The west turns gold, the moon glows whiter. We hurry past the windows' lights as the shops close too. Nighttime falls on every place. The darkness brings a simple grace as heaven drops its curtain, quieting the noise of day. On wilderness or cities teeming, on lighthouse with its lamp now beaming, and final trains to call all aboard to be on their way. Everyone fed, everyone free, everyone safe, everyone loved as we are meant to be. Everything blessed, a part of it all. Everything sacred, wherever nighttime falls. Nighttime falls on everything. The blaze
grass, the sparrow's wing. The mystery of sleep unravels and our dreams begin. And through the dark wind, rain and thunder, we travel on this world in wonder that carries us around the sun to come back again. Everyone fed, everyone free, everyone safe, everyone loved as we are meant to be. Everything blessed, a part of it all. Everything sacred, wherever nighttime falls. Everything sacred, wherever nighttime falls.
Big round of applause for Ann Hill. Ann,
Thank you
where
very
are you
much.
playing tonight?
I'm playing up at the Chicago Institute of Music with many other people.
Yeah.
It's a free concert, and contributions, if you want to give them, go to the Alzheimer's Fund of Chicago.
So tonight.
That's a nice
Tonight,
little hall, too.
it's a beautiful hall.
Yeah, my
I've
daughter
done
used
it,
to do violin up there.
and I did the Hadley School for the Blind benefit there for about 4 years. That we did. So
Ann Hill, what a total treat to
Thank
have
you
you
very
on our
much.
stage.
It's good to have you home, so to speak, and we hope you will play at the Heartland sometime in the nighttime.
I'd love to.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Thanks.
That'd be great.
You've been listening to the Live from the Heartland show. We're
Hang on.
brought to you every Saturday morning on WLUW 887 Chicago Sound Alliance.
We want to thank
We want to thank
Lisa Smith.
We want to thank Eli
Paul and Mary.
Sloan. We want to thank Paul and Mary Wozniak.
We
We want
wanna
to thank
Angel.
Lisa Herman. We want to thank Angel Herrera. We
Or
want
Laura
to
Herman.
thank Daniel Kugler. We want to thank everybody who listened to this
And I
show
thank
and
you,
make
Michael.
it possible. I thank you, Katie Hogan.
Aye.
We encourage you to do good in the world. The world needs all the good that you do. And with 14 seconds left, we're going to say all power to the people. All power to the people. All power to the
right.
people. We want to thank our